Good morning, and we are on the last day of this week, and last subject line, which is the heavens are open. And it starts out with a question: what does the phrase "the heavens are open" mean to you? And then it asks, what evidence do you see in the Restoration Proclamation in the church today, in the scriptures, in your life, that the heavens are truly open? I think that's a great question, and one that I find in my life, if we think about it, we just went through the Book of Mormon last year, and all of the things that we talked about there, the revelations, the things that came up, the visitation of the Savior, all of that was magnificent and amazing. And I think we're going to see similar things happen while we're looking into the Doctrine and Covenants this year. And I've already mentioned some of the spiritual experiences that I've had in my life and continue to have. I think just studying the scriptures daily, you get this daily feast and see the heavens open there. And I know that when I take things seriously and really study the scriptures, I find that the things that I'm studying, especially the Book of Mormon, I remember when I'm reading the Book of Mormon earnestly, a lot of times, almost always during that week, I will have an experience where what I've read in the scriptures applies to something that I'm doing in my regular life. And I think we can find that here too. Certainly I feel that with the reading that we've had this week. I feel I remember when they gave the Restoration Proclamation, I feel like I haven't studied it enough. You know, I read through it when it came out. I didn't memorize it or anything like that. I just thought, okay, yeah, this talks about the first vision and establishment of the church, and yeah, that's good. But going through it this week has really brought the power of what it means and what it means for the prophet and apostles today to proclaim this in such a bold manner. That they don't say, well, we believe that this might have happened, or they don't use words like believe or might, as instead they use the words like proclaim and admonish. I think they use admonish. We can just flip there really quick. But we solemnly proclaim, we declare, we affirm, these are strong things. We declare and declare again, and we invite. So you see how strong these words are. They're very straightforward and strong in the way they do talk about these things. And I'd like to put in something from General Conference as well. And here we have Kyle S. McKay. I don't know what the relation is to David O. McKay. I've never looked that up. From last conference, a man who communed with Jehovah. And I thought I'd just flip over to it, actually. And we see, he talks about, of course, Joseph Smith. What we now call the first vision marked the beginning of the restoration of all things in this last dispensation, but for Joseph, the experience was also personal and preparatory. All he wanted was forgiveness and direction, and the Lord gave him both. The instruction to join none of the churches was directive. The words, "Thy sins are forgiven thee," were redemptive. For all the beautiful truths we might learn from the first vision, perhaps Joseph's main takeaway was simply, I found the testimony of James to be true, that a man who lacked wisdom might ask of God and obtain. As one scholar noted, the real resonance of the first vision today is to know that it is the nature of God to give those who lack wisdom. The God that reveals himself to Joseph Smith in the Sacred Grove is a God who answers teenagers in times of trouble. And I mentioned about my teenage years that I've had that experience. I've had where God has answered my prayers, and I knew he would because he did for Joseph. Joseph's experience in the grove gave him confidence to ask for forgiveness and direction for the rest of his life. His experience has also given me confidence to ask for forgiveness and direction for the rest of my life. And I believe that strongly. It really has given me confidence to realize that God will still be there, even if you make some mistakes. And I just wanted to bring that up here. And I think the thing is that I'm really excited to be able to go into these things this year. I'm not going to go through the hymns, morning breaks. I think it's worth you singing it in your own play settings, or reading through it, and look at the words in there. We have Quentin L. Cook in 2020, just after the what's it called? I can't seem to bring that up. Okay, the proclamation was given. I think I've highlighted something in here. I can't remember. I thought I did, and if I didn't, then I think it's worth a read. But I did not do it, I guess. I really thought I'd testimony. We extend all to an invitation to all to feast on the Lord's table. I think that's where this is leading. We also declare our heartfelt desire to be reunited with those who have been struggling with their testimonies, been less active, or had their names removed from the church records. We desire to feast with you upon the words of Christ at the Lord's table, to learn the things we all should do. We need you, the church needs you, the Lord needs you. Our heartfelt prayer is that you will join with us in worshiping the Savior of the world. We know that some of you may have received offense and kindness or other conduct that is not Christ-like. We also know that some have had challenges to their faith that may not be fully appreciated or understood or resolved. Some of our most stalwart and faithful members have suffered a challenge to their faith for a season. I love the true account of W.W. Phelps. I'm not going to go through that. Basically, he testified against Joseph Smith, but afterwards he asked to be forgiven. And Joseph Smith wrote back, basically, friends at first or friends at last. Again, at last. Look that up if you haven't ever heard about W.W. Phelps and what he's done, and how he came back to the church. Brothers and sisters, regardless of your situation, please know that the church and its members will welcome you back. personal revelation to guide our lives. Personal revelation is available to all those who humbly seek guidance from the Lord. That's what we've been talking about all along. I'm just going to go back now to this. So there's lots of stuff in here that we can talk about. But the heavens are open, but it's not just open to the prophet. It's open to each one of us to receive revelation. Now, of course, you know how revelation goes. We receive revelations for ourselves, maybe our families, but we don't receive it for the whole church. The prophet does, and the apostles together do. And as we follow them and we read their things, and I think that's one reason why I stick with what we have here. I'm not going outside very much of what is in the Come Follow Me, because there's no reason to, really. Every once in a while I'll pop something in, but we find that revelation as we read these scriptures. I'm going to leave this a little bit here. Learn together. President Nelson invited us to study the Restoration Proclamation privately and with family members and friends. Consider how you might include others in your study. I think that's really good. I think this proclamation has been around for, 5 years now? And have we taken notice of it as much as we should have? Are we really seeing the power in it? And I know that I haven't. I know others may have. And so I'm going to try to take more notice of it and reread it. And see what light and knowledge I get from that. So today, I just want you to think of how the heavens are open to you and look forward to seeing the heavens open throughout the Doctrine and Covenants this year. I know it will. I feel it, an excitement to read these in the light of what we have today as we read the Doctrine and Covenants. And so I hope you have a wonderful day and see the heavens open to you.